Coming up in the next 1 hour, President Akufo-Addo gives his assent to E-levy.
Japan Motors Assembly Plant opened at Tetteh Industrial Area.
And Kenya's top court blocks a government-backed plan to make fundamental changes to the constitution. Good evening and welcome to GBC News and GTV. In this month of March, we at GBC have celebrated our heritage purposely to learn, appreciate and project our rich Ghanaian culture. Our theme was embracing our unique Ghanaian diversity. So we took you from Gambaga to Accra, Elubo to Krache, where stories behind historical places, some events and clothing representative of all our regions. It was all to show you who we are. On the last day of the Heritage Month calendar, I am dressed as a Fanti woman.
And I am dressed as a Gonja woman. And for our Heritage Month series, we will take you to the biggest natural lake in Ghana, Lake Bosomtwe in the Ashanti region. We hope you enjoy this news package with us.
The news in detail now. The E-levy is now a law following the assent of President Akufo-Addo to the bill on Thursday, 31st March 2022.
The development now paves the electronic transfer levy law to be implemented by the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA.
E-levy, which has generated controversies among members of Parliament, was passed by the House on Tuesday, 29 March 2022. It comes on the heels of a walkout by the minority in Parliament. And despite the protest, the minority had filed a suit at the Supreme Court to challenge the passage of the levy, insisting Parliament did not have the numbers to pass it. The E-levy, which was initially pegged at 1.75%, was amended to 1.5% by Parliament. By the assent of the President to the E-levy bill into law, transactions on electronic platforms, including payment via mobile money, which is more than 100 cedis on daily basis, will now attract a tax of 1.5%. While some Ghanaians criticize the E-levy as a disincentive to the drive to bring those outside the financial services net into the formal system, others too are of the view that it will help in bolstering revenue mobilization and reduce Ghana's debt stock, which is hovering around 81%. Based on the extrapolation by government, the E-levy is expected to rake into the national kitty about 6.9 billion cedis by the close of the fiscal year. Edward Nyakum reporting for GBC News.
The Japan Motors Assembly Plant at the Tetteh Industrial Area is officially opened. President Akufo-Addo formally opened a $9 million facility which has the capacity to produce 11,593 units vehicles per annum. The president said the entry of Nissan, Toyota and VW into the country's automobile industry will help reduce Ghana's vehicular import bill of $1.5 billion a year.
The president, Nana Akufo-Addo, set himself a target to set Ghana's automobile industry in motion by inviting global car manufacturers into the country to help establish the automotive industry. VW and Toyota responded by setting up assembly plants in the country. Nissan has also established an assembly plant in Ghana. The plant, which is in partnership with Japan Motors, has 4 houses for the process, testing lines and a special shop bay. The managing director for Japan Motors, Mr. Salem Kaumoni, said in addition to the Nissan Navara vehicles, the company will assemble Persian vehicles as well.
Our pickup assembly line is able to assemble 6,625 units per shift per annum, while the saloon car line is able to assemble 4,968 units per shift. The plant's production capacity is 11,593 units per shift per annum, but initially we plan to assemble 1,800 units per year.
The managing director of Nissan Africa, Mike Whitfield, described the assembly plant as a world-class factory and with the right policy framework will position Ghana as a leader in the automotive industry in the sub-region.
We see investors, foreign and local, lining up to become involved, knowing that their investments will be safe. We see jobs being created both directly and indirectly, and we see growth becoming unleashed upstream and downstream in the automotive value chain.
The Minister for Trade and Industry, Mr. Alan Tremantin, said Ghana's automobile industry holds the key to the country's development.
It is going to be a great source of developing linkages within our economy, developing small and medium enterprises that will operate along the supply chain. We all know that every car is made out of thousands of parts, windshields, batteries, tires, and so on and so forth. So can you imagine a situation where we have a fully fledged automotive industry in Ghana, the impact that it would have on the development of our small and medium enterprises?
The President, Nana Akufo-Addo, said the emerging automobile industry in the country will not only create jobs, but reduce drastically Ghana's import bill.
Let me conclude by assuring all stakeholders within the automotive industry of my government's determination to support the industry. We will continue to design innovative policies to ensure the sustainability of the industry, including developing a vehicle financing scheme aimed at supporting the purchase of locally assembled vehicles. I wish again to commend highly the stakeholders of Japan Motors and Nissan Motor Corporation for this major investment initiative. This investment will be safe and profitable in Ghana.
President Akufo-Addo promised his all to support automobile companies established in the country to do well.
The minority in Parliament is taking legal action against the Attorney General at the Supreme Court, challenging the approval of the electronic transactions levy. It is the argument of the minority that Parliament did not have the required number of at least half of its members present when the E-levy was approved. The House on Tuesday approved the controversial policy after the minority walked out in protest against the revenue measure. The Member of Parliament for Boku Central, Mr. Mahama Ayariga, said his side will employ legal means to reverse the passage of the E-levy. He was speaking on GTV Breakfast on Thursday morning.
I just told you that you are engaged in a fight and you are looking at your objective. Our objective was not just to be seen fighting E-levy. Because we've fought E-levy, we've exchanged blows, we've thrown chairs, we've done everything possible, and for 5 months they haven't been able to pass E-levy. And we fought effectively because we've noticed that we had the numbers to fight. On this day, we didn't have the numbers to fight. And unless you are of the group that just want us to be seen fighting till the end and then we have lost because we didn't have numbers, and we don't belong to that group. We want to actually prevent E-levy from becoming law, not just the populism of being seen to have fought E-levy. And so at that crucial moment, we know that the Constitution says that you need a quorum to take a decision. And so that became the tool, the most effective and potent tool, the fact that they didn't have a quorum if we walked out. And so we deployed that. We believe that at that moment, the Speaker ought to have taken stock of the number of MPs in the chamber.
So should have called for a count?
To determine if he had a quorum to proceed.
A head count?
Yes, because if you recall, when we were debating and about to take the decision on the budget itself, the majority walked out. When they walked out, if you recall, he counted. He counted as the minority and established that we were 137 and said we had quorum. The Supreme Court says, no, you don't have quorum. 137 is not quorum. So he counted us and established that we were 137. So when we walked out, we expected that he would conduct a count. But that didn't happen. But the fact that he didn't count us does not deprive us of evidence that there was actually 136, because we have the cameras that show that there was just 136 members in the the chamber. And so there was no quorum. So whatever happened thereafter was a nullity. Now, that in effect is the relief we are seeking. We are seeking the Supreme Court to enforce its own decision that you need 138 people present before you can take a decision. So we are saying that there wasn't 138 members.
A gentleman by the name Amemaso Wanda, who works with the Aplau branch of a freight forwarding firm, Tetteh Africa, was allegedly assaulted on Wednesday by some security personnel at Beat 7, one of the entry points close to the Aplau main border. The victim is currently undergoing treatment at a hospital in Aplau. There are sketchy accounts on the incident by some senior security officers at the border.
On Thursday morning, the Aplau branch manager of Tetteh Africa, a freight forwarding firm, Mr. Daniel Akbalu, reported to GBC News that on Wednesday, one of his workers was beaten up by some security personnel at Beat 7, not far from the main Aplau border. He was assaulted for allegedly filming them. The immigration commander at the Aplau main border, Assistant Commissioner Frederick Dodu, said some security officers came to him in the company of Mr. Amemaso Wanda and reported his conduct to him. He then advised that they take him to the police station. The Aplau police station subsequently issued a hospital form for Amemaso to be taken to the hospital for treatment. The victim, Amemaso Wanda, told us his side of the story.
I was coming from the house. My house is just near the Bitnai border. I was just passing on the road, and I have my phone. I was doing my own self-video. That is how the bit is.
Okay.
I'm going to be safe. So that I'll pass there, and then I'll enter the main custom yard. I'm just walking and then doing the video. Not on them per se, but everybody, all the passage people, the pedestrians, everybody is showing in it. It's just a place where there is houses there, people's houses are there. They collected the phone from me, and then they took me to their main office and beat me and torture me with electrical gadgets.
Chief Inspector John Ano of the Aplau police station told GBC News that his outfit had sent a report on the incident to the Volta Regional Police Public Relations Officer, DSP Ifyatenge, to be worked on. We cross-checked this information with DSP Ifyatenge, and she confirmed having received the report.
We will bring you an update on this story once it's available. The Minister of Roads and Highways has explained that the paragraph concerning the length of kilometerage constructed over the past 5 years, as stated in the President's Sona speech, indicates that at the end of February 2022, a total of 1,702 kilometers of construction and maintenance activities which were undertaken on paved roads and 4,910 kilometers of works on unpaved roads had been completed. The data on completed works have subsequently been updated to 10,875 kilometers as at the end of February 2022. In a statement signed by the Minister for Roads and Highways, indicates that over the past 5 years, a lot of investment had gone into both the paved and unpaved roads to improve the riding quality of our roads. The 10,875 kilometers of roads constructed have been on both paved and unpaved roads. These interventions have resulted in the improvement in the road condition mix. The Ghana Association of Writers has launched its anniversary on the theme 65 years of promoting the development of good literature in Ghana, prospects and challenges. The association aims to foster development of good literature, bring writers together to exchange ideas and preserve the Ghanaian heritage.
The Ghana Association of Writers started as the Young Men's Literary Club on March 29, 1920. It was later changed to the Young People's Literary Club to reflect its composition of both sexes. The Young People's Literary Club was succeeded by the Society of Writers in 1957, and it was later transformed into the Ghana Association of Writers in 1960. The association's objective is to bring together all writers, including persons interested in writing, creators of literary content in Ghana, protect and advance the interests of Ghanaian writers, foster the development of good literature in Ghanaian and foreign language. The president of the association, Mr. Francis Bomita, in an interview with GBC News, highlighted the achievements of the association over the years.
We are looking into a future that GAO will be more visible, will be more influential than we have it today. It used to be in the past like that. From the history that we have read about GAO in the files, there was even an occasion where GAO was a member of the Consultative Assembly to draft the Constitution of Ghana.
The immediate past president of the association, Nana Kwesi Penting, applauded the executives of the association for the good work done and encouraged unity among members.
We have gone through turmoil and we've been able to revive the association because we have done so in unity. And in the past few years, 12 or so years, we have had a very solid united front.
The anniversary logo, association's newsletter and fundraising magazine were unveiled at the launch.
A community library complex stocked with assorted books to serve school children in Paga and surrounding communities is formally opened in the Katsina-Nankana West District in the Upper East region. The facility was funded by the African Publishing Innovation Fund with support from the International Publishers Association.
Girls Foundation, a charity organization, was birthed in 2021 to offer academic support to school children with no access to academic programs in schools due to the COVID-19 restrictions, including the closure of schools. The founders, made up of university graduates, volunteers and other individuals from the Paga district, are passionate about supporting the young ones in the Paga area academically. The IT director for Learners Girls Foundation, Mr. Mark Kubuga, said the library complex would serve over 20 communities in the Paga district and wishes that the project gets the needed support to benefit the community.
Actually, this will be the first completed library structure in Paga that will serve over 20 communities over here. So we look forward to the community handling it well and then patronizing it.
The facility, which cost about $16,000 has a few computers to offer an e-learning platform to the children. Co-founder of LGF, Bushiratu Kumiriwo, said they are in partnership with Book Aid to donate books to them annually to stock the library. She commended the NCCE, the chief of the area and other stakeholders for their support in this project. Ms. Bushiratu, however, was not happy because the facility has no electricity.
The part of this particular library will be for e-learning, as they will be able to access educational materials worldwide.
The Katsina-Nankana West District Director of the National Commission for Civic Education, Mr. Robert Dampari, commended the Learners Girls Foundation for the initiative. He also commended the chief of the area for making land available for the project and urged the children to make good use of the facility to improve their knowledge.
International evangelist and founder of the World Miracle Outreach, Reverend Lawrence Tetteh, has received one of Hungary's highest national awards, the Knight's Cross of the Order of Merit of Hungary. It recognizes his outstanding and dedicated efforts in promoting Hungary's international fame, as well as deepening bilateral relations between Budapest and Accra. A report by Ofuri Wadakun.
For his outstanding performance and instrumentality in building on bilateral and business relations between Ghana and Hungary, Reverend Dr. Lawrence Tetteh is being honored with the Order of Merit of the Republic of Hungary, one of Hungary's highest state order. The conferment was done on behalf of the President of Hungary by Hungary's ambassador to Ghana, Tamás Ferrer, at a brief ceremony at Hungary's embassy in Accra.
As a reward for his many contributions to the overall development of bilateral relations between Hungary and Ghana, the President of Hungary, His Excellency János Áder, decided to confer upon him the Knight Cross of the Order of Merit of Hungary.
Ambassador, you are here, but ambassadors come and go. But Dr. Lawrence Tetteh remains here, ensuring that the relations between our two countries continue to be friendly, cordial, and strengthened.
The second president of the Fourth Republic of Ghana, Mr. John Ejiokum Kufuor, who was at the event, acknowledged how Reverend Dr. Lawrence Tetteh's role in Ghana and Hungary is worthy of emulation.
Within the past few years, 4 or 5 years, the great nation of Hungary has opened a mission here. So I got intrigued and I was thinking, perhaps Lawrence has contributed to the eventual opening of a formal embassy here. And if it succeeded in that, then perhaps the President of Hungary would deem it fit to confer this honor on him.
Reverend Dr. Lawrence Tetteh, who is also a fellow of the Royal Society of Arts, a televangelist, philanthropist, and reminded Ghanaians of the importance of commitment to duty and honesty at all times.
I left for Hungary when I was in my early 20s. It was a virgin land for some of us. I came from a family of 9 children. Unfortunately, to be the leader of that 9, you'd need to fight. There's no need to be bothered about what everybody says concerning you. If you keep quiet and you stay silent and you do what you do best, in the end, people will recognize you. I want to say the secret is that fear God and keep his commandment.
Reverend Dr. Lawrence Tetteh trained as an economist at the Budapest Corvinus University of Economic Sciences in Hungary and also at the London School of Economics in the United Kingdom. He was appointed Ambassador of Peace by the United Nations Federation of Peace in South Korea. He's married to Barbara Tetteh, also an ordained minister and a social scientist. For GBC News, Afriwa Dakon reporting.
Lake Bosomtwe is not just the biggest natural lake in Ghana, but also an important part of the Asante history, heritage and economy. However, in the following special report as part of GBC's Heritage Month series, correspondent Nicholas Osewusu tells us that following the fast reduction in the volume of water and life in the lake, the Asantehene Otumfuo Seititu has initiated sustainable measures to protect the water body and its fish stock through a climate-resilient action plan, among others.
Lake Bosomtwe is derived from 2 names, water gods and antelope, locally known as Ochin. Its discovery and expansion spanning over 400 years is traced to a hunting expedition of a man from one of the communities dotted around it and captured eloquently by a 14-year-old from one pupil of the Abonu DA Junior High School, Kwabena Boatin.
Adekura nyanso ndi Lake Bosomtwe no na ya obofuo bi obofune funa kokla bompe.
A hunter called Bompe and his dog Dachi, during one of his hunting expeditions, shot an antelope, which ran and fell into a pool of water believed to be smaller gulls. So the name Bosomtwe was derived from the water gods, and the name of the antelope called locally as Ochin, thus Lake Bosomtwe.
No one can swim hunani. Ehunase. Obotwen watutuo. Ahuna sonmudia. The sondi ni bosom. Bondi ndo achen. No makabom. Ninya sondi Lake Bosomtwe.
The facts, as narrated by Kwabena Boateng, have been cross-checked and largely corroborated by different online historical sources. Lake Bosomtwe, with a length of 8.6 kilometers and a width of about 8.1 kilometers, has a total surface area of approximately 49 square kilometers that is geographically located within 2 political districts in the Ashanti region. These are the Bosomtwe and Bosomtwe districts, spanning a catchment of about 400 square kilometers. The main fish species in the lake is the Tilapia busumana. The lake, that has rainfall as well as some streams as its primary inflow, is surrounded by not only mountains and a deep valley at Abono, but is also importantly encircled by 22 communities located in the 2 districts. Among these communities is Edwafo. Edwafo is a small community whose inhabitants have depended on the lake as their main source of livelihood for many years. One of the inhabitants, Mr. Kwesi Peter, told GBC News that he has been fishing in the lake for about 35 years now. He shared with GBC News his experience over the years.
But first, na enipano dosu de but enipano no so say first but enipano ko dosu more.
The fish stock has reduced. The available and popular fish have also reduced. It could be due to increasing population of fishes. What we get now, even in small quantities, are the black scale fishes and the tilapia species.
Population increase has also been experienced in these catchment communities over the years. Just as it is at Edwafo, inhabitants around the lake have turned to other forms of economic activities, particularly crop farming. Illegal gold mining by people has also been reported in some of these communities. The people involved in these economic ventures are indulging in all forms of activities, including chemical applications, among other unfriendly environmental practices in the pursuit of their livelihood. The traditional colors of Asanteman are yellow, black, and green. The green color represents the natural environment and vegetative cover. So it has come as no surprise that the overlord of Asanteman, the Asantehene and the 16th occupant of the Golden Stool, Otumfuo Osei-Tutu Abibio, has made it a cardinal principle to ensure that the natural environment, including Lake Bosomtwe, are well protected against destruction, whether by man-made activities or natural occurrences. So anytime you find yourself anywhere around the lake, do well to also do your part and to protect and preserve this largest natural lake in Ghana. But for now, I remain Nicholas Oseusu reporting for GBC News.
You're watching News Hour live on GBC News, the News and Governance channel. Time to take a quick break. We'll be back with the business news. Please do stay on.
Good evening. What about some business updates brought to you by MTN and Quick Credit? My name is Morris. But in our very first story, a group of civil society groups have called for a forensic audit of all COVID-19 related expenditure. The CSOs, led by Budget Ghana, said the review will provide reasonable assurance that the COVID spending were in compliance with the country's procurement laws.
I feel availability of information is ideal in this process, because with information we can interrogate whatever has happened, be it whatever costs it pertains to every activity that was done in the health sector. And I felt the health sector has played a key role in the fight against COVID. The public financial management rules, an audit has to take place, so that we know whether for value for money that the interventions that were done. With the right to information bill, implementation is still a challenge, so we're hoping the parliamentarians take the lead to advance this forensic audit of the COVID expenditure.
Ladies and gentlemen, the primary role of financial management in the health sector is to manage public funds and risk in a way that helps to increase access to quality health care. The COVID-19 pandemic and the confusion that rocked the states over lack of accountability should serve as a lesson to all of us. Till date, the calls for forensic audit of the COVID-19 related expenditure have not been heeded, and that has given room for all manner of accusations and counter-accusations.
And away from that story, Ghana's leading telecommunications operator MTN is to offer 30% of its mobile money business to local investors, although the company is finalizing the process with the central bank. Chief Executive of MTN, Mr. Selim Adadevo, has revealed that instead of another initial public offer, the company will resort to private placement. MTN mobile money grew 38.2% to 1.7 million Ghana cedis in 2001 from 1.2 million cedis in 2020.
On the PSSA compliance, PSSA is the Payment Systems and Services Act. This was launched in May 2019 by the Bank of Ghana with regards to mobile money. As part of the requirements here, we are required to localize the mobile money business up to 30%. We're in that process and continue to have discussions with the regulator on the steps to achieve 30% localization. On E-levy, we're all aware of this, and this was read out in Parliament in November 2020. We continue to await final guidance and parliamentary approval so that we can proceed. From a technical perspective, we've ensured that we've invested very aggressively to be ready, so that once it's approved, we can proceed with the implementation. On SIM registration, we've invested quite a lot in our SIM registration activities to ensure that we could meet the March 31st deadline. But most of you will be aware
Let's go to the interbank forex market, where we see the cedi improving against major trading currencies, especially against the US dollar. And so now the cedi is going for the dollar is going for 7 cedis 11 pesos, and the pound sterling at 9 cedis 35 pesos, 93 pesos. Business brought to you by
Hello and welcome to the Energy segment. I'm Dominic Hoji. The Bank of Ghana has announced guidelines for the allocation of foreign exchange through forward auctions to the bulk oil distribution companies, BDCs. This will govern the conduct of foreign exchange forward auctions on the interbank market foreign exchange market for BDCs licensed by the National Petroleum Authority.
The Bank of Ghana has indicated that the multiple price forward FX auctions is intended to minimize the uncertainty of the future availability of FX and aid price discovery, especially for the general pricing window within the downstream sector. The rules participants are to abide by includes the publication of foreign exchange auction calendar, eligibility, eligible currency and quotation convention, auction schedule and frequency, and bidding processes. The rest are allocation methodology, auction committee communication of auction results to the market, confirmation and settlement of trade and funding. For publication, the Bank of Ghana will publish an auction target incorporating inputs received from the MPA for the foreign exchange forwards on a bi-weekly basis. The target will be published 4 days preceding the pricing window for the downstream sector on the Bank of Ghana website to enable market participants plan adequately. The announcement shall subsequently list the date and time, auction volume target, settlement and other relevant information. In terms of eligibility, participation in the auction is restricted to only authorized bulk distribution companies licensed by the MPA through the authorized licensed foreign exchange dealings banks. With regards to the auction schedule and frequency, it will be done in consultation with the MPA on pricing window schedules. The FX auction shall be held bi-weekly and conducted no later than 3 working days before the 1st and 16th of each month. Also, the auction committee will comprise of Bank of Ghana staff appointed by the governor and shall oversee the conduct of the auction and decide on the cut-off rate guided by an allocation methodology. Only authorized Bank of Ghana officials may be present at the time of the auction allocation process, and details of individual bids of banks will be kept confidential.
The Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC, will from April start engagement with utility companies on the proposed tariff increases. This follows the approval of the tariff guidelines by the PURC board. Acting Executive Secretary of the PURC, Dr. Ishmalaka, said this at a webinar with social accountability actors on electricity tariff setting processes in Ghana. He said the regulator is seeking to come out with tariffs that will be transparent and accepted by service providers and customers.
At PURC, this year is a major tariff year. Now, what it means is that we've started a very important process of coming out with new tariffs. Now, as part of our mandate, we are to ensure that we balance the interests of utilities and those of consumers. So for utilities, we need to make sure that they are financially viable to continue to provide the services we need. And for consumers, we need to also ensure that they receive quality service, reliable service at competitive prices. Now, in order to do this, PURC has developed a number of strategic interventions. One of them is that this year we've been able to set up 2 regulatory audit units, one under water and one under electricity. This is to help our regulatory audit directorate to audit the cost and proposals submitted by utilities to ensure that what we pass on to consumers are prudent and efficient costs. It will also ensure that we are able to monitor what utilities do to be fair to all stakeholders.
We now bring you some data on national power generation, Ghana's power export figures, and the water level in the Akosombo and Bui dams. And that's it for the energy segment. My name is Dominic Honoji.
You're welcome to the health segment. 13-year-old Nancy Gamali has been diagnosed with osteoblastoma, a bone-forming tumor. Nancy Gamali and her grandmother, Madame Theresa Amo, are appealing to the general public for financial assistance of 50,000 Ghana cedis for corrective surgery.
Nancy Gamali is a Class 6 pupil of the Mataheko Roman Catholic Basic School located in the Ablekuma Central Municipal Assembly. The 13-year-old, according to doctors' reports, bruised her leg during the COVID-19 lockdown, but all efforts to fully cure her proved futile. Her untreated condition has resulted into osteoblastoma. Osteoblastoma is a benign bone-forming tumor that is extremely rare, accounting for only 1% of all primary bone tumors. Treatment of osteoblastoma usually involves surgery to remove the tumor. Nancy and her grandmother Madam Theresa Amu are appealing to the general public, philanthropists and benevolent organizations to support them with 50,000 Ghana cedis to cover the cost of surgery at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital.
Surgeon so 500 million. Me who be am ko fabi. Se se nkofo e madan nyam so ma bere. Nti ayi se me so me di beto amanfo ni. No mu boa me wakura yi ho. San se me ni hwefo bia me asoma yare 3 years me ko be bia se na di beto aduane edi kura den mai. Me ni bi. Nti me sere urade se urade enko bia kuma no mu mo am ne mfanya kura yi.
Nancy told GBC News that her ambition is to pursue law and become a judge in future, but she fears her dream may not come true due to her deteriorating condition, which has left her out of school for 2 years.
My friends are now in JHS too. I want to be a judge in future, but because of this, then I can't. I'm pleading to the general public, the government, the philanthropists, all of you to help me.
Kindly support Nancy Gameli's surgery by donating to Theresa Amu on MTN mobile money number 059 131 6296 059 131 6296.
That's all in this segment, brought to you by kind courtesy Lufat. Up next is international.